Okay, we tried to order 2,500 of these. And you know what? I think Jay's planners kind of know that it's not going to happen, but they think, you know, if we bump that number up, he'll come closer to getting it. It still doesn't happen. We get what we can get, and we got like about 580 of these. We're down to 380 just from the preview. So this is going to be super duper quick. We are talking about coral, genuine coral, not just in a single strand. Where I've seen a single strand, I remember Jay and I were doing, he's done all kinds of coral that exist. And so one time when I went to Las Vegas, I went in a boutique. They had a tiny, and by tiny I mean smaller than these beads, strand of coral for several $100s for a single strand. We're doing 3, and we're doing bigger pieces. And I love this classic design. And it's not hundreds of dollars. It's $89.90. It's under $30 on your charge card. And Jay, this, oh, we do have matching earrings. The matching earrings are, let's see, the matching earrings are $39.90 from $49.90. So again, if that's $39, wouldn't you think that's a whole lot more than $89? I would, and these are under $20 to get this home. Jay, this really is one we could say nothing about. It would be gone.
Well, and I'll tell you the inside skinny on this, okay? Okay, just so you know how this works, right? We make all kinds of designs, and then we present them as today's specials, right? This was actually made, the design was made as a today's special. We presented this to the buyer. She just loved it. As Connie said, okay, once we got back to reality and realized we can't get the material, then we realized that, okay, we're not going to be able to do it as today's special. So our wonderful buyer, she goes, okay, well, let's do it.
Let's do 2,500.
Let's do it 2,500, and we'll make it a this day only, or we'll make a, you know, a special deal out of it, and do that. We made we were able to make 500, so it's a good thing I didn't commit for a today's special. So, but it's just that the material just, it isn't there. It just didn't. The material didn't materialize, so unfortunately. But
and tell us why, when we're talking about coral,
yeah, I mean,
it's an organic gemstone.
It's an organic gemstone. Basically, when you're buying coral, you're buying somebody's ex-condo, their house, right? Mm-hmm. There's a little organism. It's called a. They're like starfish, and what they do is they, as they're like little polyps, and what they do is they got their tentacles, they get their nutrients from salt water, and that's how they get their nutrients. And what they expel is they expel the calcium carbonate, and so that kind of builds a shell, builds a shell, builds a shell, builds a shell, builds a shell. Then what they do, they kind of bloom, they move out of that, and then it builds and builds and builds. It takes millions of years in most cases. And then, of course, there's all kinds of different varieties of coral. All coral predominantly is protected under the CITES Act. The CITES Act is where over 150 countries got together, and they control, so you can't import or export. You just don't go out and decide one day that you're going to be in the coral business. Okay, don't work like that. I'm telling you. Unfortunately, and fortunately, I mean, you know, everybody, you know, we're very environmental conscious. There's really no new harvest. There are some, you know, coral farming still going on. It's highly regulated, but coral is getting harder and harder and harder to come by for the rough stock. I look for in the near future, and it's actually a lot nearer than I even imagined, that you really won't see any coral, right? Now, there's all kinds of varieties of coral still out there. But there's no bulk on it, and there's no bulk on any rough. There's nothing that I can really work with. When you go to, even you go to Tucson, and you walk around Tucson, you see, you know, 10 strands here, 1 strand here, 5 strands there, you know, in designs, but you don't see any bulk material, and you don't see bulk strands that are real. Anyway, let's put it that way, that they're real. Usually they're plastic, or there's something else that's been, that they're selling as coral that's not coral. So I love this. Red, this is like a cherry red. It's a power.